All right, so welcome back. We've been able to look at variable and stuff. So please take your time to look at these things separately. So what I want to do now is I'm going to remove this. Look at what I did. I came close, line 22, this arrow down, I click it. So it helps me to force script. You understand? So I want to copy, maybe you've written 1,000 line of code. You understand? I have lines of codes that are up to thousands, 2,000, 5,000. Sometimes I want to shorten it when I'm looking through the codes. So this is a very powerful tool to help me shorten it. So I want to remove this. Control X. So I'm removing it. Command X on Mac. Control X on Windows. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to create a new file just here. I'm going to call that file intro.js. So I'm going to put it inside. I'm going to paste it here. So since it is a JavaScript file, I don't need to put script. I will remove this. Do not forget, JS is .js. That's it. When you are naming a file with this extension .js, you are telling this thing that is a JavaScript code. If it is .html, you are saying it is HTML that is inside. If it is CSS, that is cascading style sheet. Of course, in your HTML file, you can put JavaScript, you can put CSS. So it's the one that houses every one of them. So I will come back again at the bottom and put another script. So I want to come fully into function, so I can explain deeper JavaScript functions. So JavaScript functions, please stay focused because you will be handling function every day as a developer. You cannot run away from it, whether you will be front end or back end. And what function does is helps us to reuse codes, all right, as in reusing of codes, rather than if I want to do, let me give an example. I want to be doing addition and subtraction. Variable a equals to 8, variable b equals to 9. All right, so I want to do console.log. So if I can say variable c equals to a plus b. All right, so console.log c. So if I save it now, let's check the so variable c equals to a plus b, console.log c. All right, so variable a equals to 8, variable c is 9, variable b is 9, c is a plus c. So let's check. We are still on the index.html JavaScript. That's where we are going to be working for now. So if I refresh, you can see here 17. So what if I want to add another number? So that means I will come here and say 49. So that's what I will keep doing. But I can actually write a function that I will not need to be repeating this line of code over and over again. I want to add, I don't want to change these variables. I want to have another variable r equals to 45, variable 7, variable y equals to 6. So now I want to do variable j equals to r plus y. So if I put j here now, the same thing would happen. So how do I 51? So what do I need to do such that I will not need to be doing this over and over again? So I can create a function, simple function called sum. So I will call the name of the function sum. Okay. Like this. Name of the function sum. This is the name of the function. I can call it sum operator. All right. So this sum operator, when you invoke it, this declaration, we just declare it. It doesn't mean we are using it. But when you invoke it, you understand, that is when it comes to action. So this sum operator now, here, this open and close bracket is where you pass the argument. You can have 100 arguments, you can have 10, you can have 2, you can have 1. I will explain to you the more as we proceed. So here I can put argument A. Okay, let me use I and R. This can be anything. It can as well be A or B. It has nothing to do with variables A and B. These are just dummies here. So that's why I just want to use a different letter I've not used before. Okay, let me put it as first. Let me do it as number 1, number 2. Okay, so sum operator return number 1 plus number 2. So what it means is that when I invoke this sum operator and I pass 2 values inside, it should return number 1, number 2. The addition of number 1 and number 2. So let me save this. If I refresh now, nothing will happen. It is just 51. That's this one here. If I comment this out, see, it's empty. So this function, I just created it, I have not invoked it. So here I can now say sum operator, okay, into, so what number do I want to add? Maybe I want to add 3, 5. So it is now going to return 3 plus 1. Save. If I come here and refresh, I will not still see anything because I did not console.log this. So I can now say console.log into console.log sum operator 3 and 5. So what that means is that this return actually means output. That is what exactly the function sum operator is to do, is to return the value of this and this. All right. So I want to just make these things very easy. So if I click refresh now, can you see 8 is out in the console? Here, that's sum operator 3 plus 5. So instead of having to create variable A, variable B, like for this A and B, this particular one now, C, I can easily come here and say console.log into 54, 9. All right. So if I refresh, it's giving me, oh, sorry. This is supposed to be sum operator. Just wash. You see that I'm making mistake. That's good, so that you know how to also sort your mistakes. So console.log sum operator 59 and 54 and 9. So I'll come here, I'll refresh. You see that's 63. All right. So that has helped me to be able to pass as many variables as possible inside the sum operator. So this could be 5 and 99 as well. So if I refresh, can you see 104? All right, so that is how it is. Then, so now can you do like 5 here for the third one? For the second one, let me increase it. This is going to throw error. The reason it's going to throw error is because the function sum operator is only taking 2 arguments, 1 and 2. So if you pass 3, it might even throw error. Let's see, or it will not. It will just ignore the third one. Yeah, obviously it ignored the third one. So it doesn't mean it's going to do a plus. It doesn't mean it's going to do 54 plus 9 plus 5. So it just ignored the third one because here we only require 2 arguments. So if I reduce it to only 1 and still call that variable, look at what would happen. It is going to throw error. No answer. Because here, ordinarily it's supposed to throw error, but it's trying to say that it didn't see the second value. So it's assumed it's not available and it cannot do 54 on null. So this is assumed to be a null value here. It's not existing. So that's why I said it is not an answer. So if your function is requesting for 2 parameters, all right, that means it is 2 parameters we must pass, like we have in those previous examples. Meanwhile, some other time you can pass n to be null from here, like this. But that is complex and advanced level. You might not really understand that at this very stage. So if I want to make it 3 now, so that you can add 3 numbers, I will come here and do number 3. Then I will add plus 3. You understand? So this, I'm getting these values all from here. What the user will pass when they add that variable 7. So this is 3 values now. If I refresh, that is 66. So that's the sum of all of this. Now, let's go a bit further. Here, what if I want to do negative operations? All right, I want to make this function a little bit more complex so that it can do addition, it can do subtraction, and it's going to still be the same, this same function. So how do we do that? We can as well say, for us to achieve -1, like if I want to do for subtraction now, I'm going to call it sub operation. That's subtraction operation. So that's going to be, let's just stick to only 2 for now. NO1 minus NO2. So I can do console. Let me comment out all of this. I can do console.log into sub operator and pass the 2 numbers. Maybe I want to do subtraction between 90 and 5. Sum operator, as I've called the sum operator function. So if I click refresh now, you see 85. That is 90 minus 5. Then if I also want to do function, maybe I also want to do for division. Div operation, that is 9, that is same thing. I'm going to call the division operator like this. Then I'm going to say console.log into div 45 and 7. So that's 45 divided by 7. So if I come here and I refresh, 45 divided by 7 is 6.42 blah, this. Can you see now? So that is, so it has helped us to easily, that's what function does for us. So we can go a little bit further. I can go a little bit further to, rework this such that I can have just one function that helps me perform arithmetic operation on 2 numbers. So just watch what I'm going to do. So I can say function into function, arithmetic, or operations. Let's use operation. Then now my parameter will be 3 now. The first one is going to be the operation OP. The second one is going to be the number, and the third one is going to be the second number. This is the first number, second number. So I'm going to say if my operation, that's conditional statement, this if operation is add, that means when I'm calling this function, if I make the operation, this OP, this argument, if I make it add, then answer, I want to say variable answer equals to the number 1 plus number 2. I can still go further and say if again, or I use s, and if. We'll come back to conditional statements as we proceed so that you can understand it more. So please watch all these curly brackets, how they are well structured. This one ends here. You are going to be dealing with curly brackets a lot in programming. So we are going to say else if up equals to, this double equals means comparison, is a comparison operator. Double equals is what? Comparison operator. I'm asking you as if you are in the class. Comparison operator, to help me compare if the value I pass as my up is hard. So I want to check if the value I pass as up is subtract. So then variable answer will be equals to number minus n2. So that is that. So I'll come out here. I'll say s. Of course, you know what the next one will be. If the operation is add sub, then diff. So I want to is diff. So variable answer will be equals to number, that's number 1 divided by number 2. S if, that should be if here. S if, because we still want to check for we still want to check for another possible outcome that can be here. So now I want you to do so that is that. So we've created the function, I call it operations. So now, if I now want to call that operation function, console.log into operation, I'm passing 3 parameters. So if what I want to first of all do is addition, that means here I must put add. So I'm saying add, the operation you want to perform here is to add 5 and 8. So I can also say console.log, the operation I want to pass here, operation is subtract, that's this sub, sub. You cannot put subtract in full because in our conditions we are checking, that is not subtract like this. So since it is just sub, so I must put sub here because that is what my operation is going to check, and it is very case sensitive. JavaScript is very case sensitive. Sub in JavaScript, sun for instance is different from sun, like this. It's different from this. It's different from this. So JavaScript is very, very case sensitive. JavaScript is case sensitive. So that aside, so sub then comma 7, 9. Do subtraction between 7 and 9. So then the last one, console.log so this one now is now diff into 34 and 8. So I think I need to put operation. Just wash all the brackets. Are you seeing them? So this thing is very powerful. As I put it on this first bracket is already, see, there's a square around the second one, meaning that's the one closing that. So if we check our console now, there is an error. Operations is not defined. Undefined. Operations. Line 72. So it's A that I did not define this operation. See, that's it. So this operation now, the name of the function is operation, but here I'm saying operations S. So it says reference, this operation is not defined. All right, so it doesn't exist. So I'm going to clear it. It will not show error now. So yep, but it's showing everything undefined. Why? Of course, here there is a difference between this function and this function. This function is not returning any value. This is returning value, and that is why it is saying undefined. Nothing happened. So I need to say return answer ANX. So it's going to return, if it is addition, it will add the first argument and the second number and return the answer, which is what we just did here. All right, so we cannot be writing return inside each of them. So we can just create the variables and do the last return outside there. A function can only have one return, but you can see returns happening inside conditional statement. Like I can decide to put the return here, for instance, return here. It will still work. That if it is this, just return this. If it is this, just return this. So instead of passing variables, but I just want to tell you another method with which you can actually use return. All right, so I'm going to be doing things differently so that you will see different types. Look at it now. It gave us all the value. So let me comment this out. So all right, so 33 minus 2, 4.25. So that is addition of 5 and 28 is 33. Addition of 7 and 9 is minus 2. Sorry, subtraction, minus 2. Then division of this is what? Is 4.25. So I want you to go ahead and do that of multiplication, all right, and try it if it's going to work. So pause this video and go and do that of multiplication. So I hope you've done that of multiplication now. So S, if is very simple, up is exactly mult. So just use MULT, multiplication. Then variable answer equals to NO1 times NO2. Yes. So if I want to do for multiplication now, I'll just change this one to MULT, that's mult, 33 times 8. So if you come here and check, that is 24. So that is that. So now what I'm trying to bring out here is that, look at when we're trying to do function for different operators, we created so many functions. First of all, we didn't create function, and it is difficult for us to do calculations. But at the long run, we're creating functions for only sum. We create for subtraction separately. But I now did a bigger one now to create just one function that we can use to perform any of those operations. So that is how functions work. It helps us to, stop repetition of code. Like I will have gone ahead to be writing different functions for different operations, but I've actually pressed it into just one operation here. So one function here. So that is how operation works. So I'm going to give you, is it an assignment? Yeah. So I'm going to give you an assignment here that you should write a function that perform area of a triangle and rectangle. So most of us may have forgotten this. So the formula for come in. Just want to make it easy. Many people have said at various times that programming is mathematics, or is for science student, or is for, no, it's just logic. All of these things is just logic. It's not mathematics. So don't bring the mindset of mathematics. Though I'm a science student, but this is not mathematics. It's just logic and algorithm. All right. So area of a triangle is the formula half base times height. Half that's half 1/2 base times half times base, b times height. All right. So then area of a rectangle, I think is length times breadth, L times breadth. All right. So it's as simple as that. So you create a function that will help us to you will create a function for this, you will create a function for this. All right. So you can actually create one function that can perform the two. If it is a triangle, it knows the calculation is going to do. If it is a rectangle, it knows. So you can do that. So just do that assignment or classwork and share with me on Twitter. Just screenshot it. If you have issues, let me know. There's a way I can communicate with you and help you resolve it. I'm not going to do that here, but so that is how to write functions. I'm also okay. There is also okay. We'll keep doing additional functions as we proceed. We'll be moving to objects now.